Hi, good evening, everyone. The aim of today's session is to take you through some of the past year questions of CDS and to see what kind of paper comes in CDS. It's not a very difficult paper, beta. If you have gone ahead through the course structure that we have been doing in class, CDS should seem easy to you. Okay, so I'm not going to go ahead sequence wise. I'm going to go ahead subject wise today. So I will start with econometrics and statistics part today. So I think that was from question number 71, as far as I remember. Yeah. So let's start with question number 71 first. Okay. So if mean and variance of a random variable follow binomial distribution, so mean, so beta binomial distribution mean is NP and variance is NPQ. So it is given that NP is 2 and NPQ is 1. Then the number of trials is, so very simple. What I will do is, I will go ahead and I know that NP is 2 and it is given to me that NPQ is 1. So here in NP, I will put the value 2. So I will get 2 into Q is equal to 1. So Q will be half. Q will be half. So beta, if Q is half, what is P? Simple. P is 1 minus Q. So it will be 1 minus half. It will be half. So if I put the value of P in this equation, so it is given to me that NP is 2. So N into half is 2. So beta, here N. N into half is 2. So what will be N? N will be 4. So the value of N will be 4. And that's the answer to your question. It is 4. Is this clear? Okay, come to the next question. It says a pot contains 5 black balls, 3 red balls. 2 balls are picked one after the other without replacement. Probability that both are black. So what I am doing is, I am picking 2 balls and I want both of them to be black. So there are 8 balls in total. 5 are black and 3 are red. And I'm picking them without replacement. So I pick the probability of picking the first black ball will be 5 by 8. And then I want the second also to be a black ball. But after I have picked up one ball, how many balls are left? Beta, there are 7 balls left. How many black balls are left? 4 black balls are left. Okay, ji? So it is going to be 20. Achha, you can just cancel this out also. Huh? So 1, 2. So this will be 5 by 14. So this is the first method to solve this, that I picked up the first black ball and out of 8 balls, 5 were black balls. And after I picked up the first black ball, I have 4 black balls remaining out of 7 black balls. So its probability will be 4 by 7. And when I solve this, I will get 5 by 14. But alternatively, you could have done like this also. You could have said, I need out of 5, 2 black balls, and out of 8, I need to draw 2 balls. So even if you solve this 5C2 by 8C2, you will get the same answer. Okay? Okay, so this is done. Come to the next question, beta. Both husband and wife applied for job in the same company. Probability that husband would get the job is 2 by 5. Do you see how easy question this is? Probability that wife will get the job is 4 by 7. Probability that both will not be selected is, both will not be selected. So I want that husband should also not be selected and wife should also not be selected. But husband and wife getting selected, this is an event which is independent. Whether I get selected or not, no way affects you get selected or not, right? So beta, in this case, I want both of them not be selected. So husband should not be selected and wife should not be selected. So this will be probability of husband not being selected into wife not being selected. Because these are independent events, right? So 1 minus probability husband, 1 minus probability wife. So 1 minus 2 by 5, 1 minus 4 by 7. So 3 by 5 into 3 by 7. So 9 by 35. This will be the answer to this question. 9 by 35. Both not being selected. Right? Now, if you notice, this is nowhere given to us. Right? So if I go by the language that A is not selected and B is not selected, the probability that both of them will not be selected, if you notice here, nowhere will you find 9 by 35 here. So this is not a mistake. This is correct. But the issue is that it means that the language interpretation starts with, this happens a lot. The language interpretation might be different. So what they are asking, I wanted to specifically show you this thing, beta. What they are asking in this question is this. They are saying that, look, the probability of the event that you are asking will be 1 minus both being selected. 1 minus both being selected. So they are assuming that probability of not being selected is 1 minus both selected. So they are assuming this to be an exhaustive event because I'm subtracting it from 1. Now just notice this beta. I'm still taking them to be independent even. So probability of H intersection W will become probability of H into probability of W. Probability of H will be 2 by 5. W is 4 by 7. 1 minus 8 by 35. This will be 35 minus 8 by 35. 27 by 35. And this is the correct answer. So this is an utter issue with the language, right? So you have to try and see what suits you in the language, right? What suits the answer actually in the language. Personally, the first one for me should have been a better approach. That's nowhere given in the option. So this is the right thing to do. Okay, now come to the next question. In how many ways can a group consisting of 5 men, what does it say? 5 men and 2 women be made out of a total of 7 men and 3 women. So I need to go ahead and make a group consisting of 5 men and 2 women. Okay. So very, very simple. So what am I going to do? I'm going to just go ahead and say that out of 7, I need 5. Out of 7 men, I need 5. And out of 3 women, I need 2. Right? And totally, I need to make a group of how many people? 2 men and 5 men and 2 women. So I need to go ahead and make a group of how many people? 7 people. Out of how many? Out of 7 plus 3, 10 people. So out of 10 people, I need to make a group of 7 people. So 10C, 7. This is it. This is how you solve it. Just, can you open this up for me? So this will be 7 factorial, 5 factorial, 2 factorial into 3 factorial, 2 factorial, 1 factorial upon 10 factorial, 7 factorial, 3 factorial. Okay, so this is going to be 7. This will get cancelled. 7 into 6 by 2 into 3 upon 10 into 9 into 8 upon 6. This is what will happen. So if you solve this, this is what you will get. I'm leaving these things for you to interpret. You should be well aware of how to solve these questions better. So this is 3. This gets cancelled. This is 3s are. This is 4s are. So this will be 21 by 40. This will be 21 by 40. This is your probability. This is your probability of selection. But in this question, it just says in how many ways. How many ways means numerator, sir. I can do it in these many ways, right? So this was the probability of doing it in these many ways. And sorry, just the question was only asking how many ways. So how many ways can be simply written as 7C5 into 3C2 ways. So the numerator will come down to be 63. So answer will be 63 ways. Okay, so numerator tells you the possible number of ways, the favorable ways. But numerator by denominator gives you probability. So if they would have asked you probability, you will find this. You will find this entirely. And if they ask you how many ways, you will only find the value of the numerator. So answer will come B. Okay, come to the next question. A coin is tossed 3 times. What is the probability every time we get a head? Arey, bahut simple hai. So if you remember the sample space, you would have seen that when I toss the coin 3 times, my sample space looks something like this. My sample space looks like this. HHH, HHT, HTT, TTT, HTH, THT, THH, TTH. This is your sample space. So if you want all heads, there is only one time that you will see all heads out of 8. No? So probability will be 1 by 8. Come to the next question. Power of a statistical test is. So the power of statistical test is the probability of correctly rejecting null hypothesis. So it is this. A. It's when you want to avoid type 2 error. So it's 1 minus beta. So power of a statistical test is to avoid type 2 error. So you can write avoiding type 2 error. That is what power of the test is. Okay. Okay, so come to the next question. Ramu, this is done, this is done. Okay, so now it says Ramu tested whether average marks of 2 groups of students are equal or not by taking random sample of marks from each group. He used t-test to compare the mean and p-value of the test, okay, is 0.04, okay. This implies that, so better just think about it. The question is saying that null hypothesis is that the mean of the 2 group is equal. This is what you want to check. Average marks are equal or not. And when we talk about the alternative hypothesis, then the alternative hypothesis is that the average marks are not equal, right? And the p-value that you have is 0.04, right? So beta, this means that you should know p is less than alpha. 0.04 is less than 5% level of significance if you take alpha at 5%. So this implies that there is a 4% probability that average marks are equal. So when you have small, please write down, when you have small p-value, you have greater evidence that null is not true. So small p-value means greater evidence that null is not true. So you reject null in favor of alternative. You reject null in favor of alternative. So answer to this is that there is a 4% probability that averages are equal. Because it is less than 5%, I will reject null in favor of alternative. Right? Okay, come to the next question. If x and y are independent random variable with variance of x sigma x and variance of y sigma y, a and b are constant, then var of ax plus by. Very simple, beta. So var of ax plus by. Whenever you see this plus sign, you have to go ahead and use the relationship that it should be so variance of this plus covariance. But it says that they are independent. They are independent. So because these are independent of each other, since x and y are independent, beta, we will have covariance of xy as 0. So variance of ax plus by will be variance of ax plus variance of by. Now I can take these coefficients out. So it will be a square variance of x plus b square variance of y. So a square sigma x whole square plus b square sigma y square. This is your answer to this question. So, variance को sigma x से they have represented instead of standard deviation. So this will be your answer. So answer to this question will be B. Come to the next question. Let xi, x1, x2 till xn be independent random variable with 1 degree of freedom. Then summation xi is. Okay. So beta, when xi is, so each xi, it has 1 degree of freedom, right? So just think about it. If you have x1, x2 till xn, and these are normally distributed with mean 0 and variance 1, then summation xi square, it should be chi-square distributed with mean n and 2n. The degrees of freedom of this will be n, right? So basically, when we are saying that, these are normally distributed, xi's are normally distributed, then sigma square is distributed chi-square, right? And if your x1 is chi-square distributed with degrees of freedom, say this, your x2 is chi-square distributed with degrees of freedom, say v2, right? Then beta, x1 by v1 upon x2 by v2, this will be distributed f with degrees of freedom v1 and v2, right? Now they did not tell us whether xi's are chi-square distributed, normally distributed, or how they are distributed. They just mentioned that they are distributed independently with 1 degree of freedom. I don't know what distribution they come from, whether it is a normal distribution or not, right? So in this case, because I don't know what distribution they come from, I cannot give more comment on it. So I will just say none of the above, right? None of them necessarily holds. Okay. Now come to the next question. Let me just remove this. Okay, so this says Z is distributed. Okay, and then Z square will be. So whenever beta Z is any variable distributed with T, then Z square is also always distributed with F. So whenever you can write this rule that whenever Z is distributed, has a T distribution with n degrees of freedom, with n this, then Z square is distributed F. That means it follows F distribution. Numerator degree of freedom is 1 and denominator is n. So answer to this question will be A. Okay. Okay, come to the next question. Ramu has data on height and weight of 100 people. Height is measured in meter and weight in kilogram. He wants to compare the dispersion of height and weight. Which measure should he use? So whenever you talk about dispersion, but all these three are actually methods of dispersion only. Variance, standard deviation, coefficient of variance. These are all the techniques of dispersion, right? They're used for dispersion. So I think so any of these is correct and you can just mark the answer as D. Any of the above is a correct way to do it. Okay, come to the next question. If x1, x2 till xn are a random sample from population with mean mu and variance sigma square, then x bar is distributed. So, okay. So, when I talk about x bar, now x bar is summation xi by n. Okay. Each xi has a mean of mu. Each xi has a mean of mu, right? So beta, if I just think about it, this will be x1 plus x2. Actually, this is coming from econometrics rule. If you have ever seen this in my class, by n. And suppose I want to sum on both sides. So summation x bar will be summation x1 plus x2. ध्यान से देखना बेटा, plus x3 till xn by n. It is asking what is the mean of x bar. X bar ka hi mean kya hoga? So if I have to find mean of x bar, then I must go ahead and sum x bar and divide it by n. So beta, if I just do that, divide both sides by n, aisa kuch ho jayega. This is the mean of x bar. This is expected value of x bar. Mean of x bar. तो ये क्या हो जाएगा? Summation x1 by n plus summation x2 by n plus summation xn by n by n. But ये तो mean of x1 हो गया ना? And mean of x1 is mu. Mean of x1 is mu. Mean of x2 is also mu and so on. So this will be mu plus mu, so on till mu by n. So mu will be added n times in the numerator. So this will be mu. So mean of x bar will be mu. But this is something I have done in your stats class. Please read this through, that if I have a population and from which I pick different elements, each of them has a mean of mu, then their mean will also be having a mean of mu. This we have done in class. Try to think, kya pada tha, law of large number kya hota hai, central limit theorem kya hota hai. You have to remember everything, right? So beta, we have done this. Isi tarike se, if their variance, each of the xi ka variance is sigma square, then the variance of x bar will be sigma square by n. I have explained these in detail in class, right? So each of the xi's, if they have mean mu, then x bar will have mean mu. Each of the xi's, if their variance is this, then x bar ka variance will be mu square x by n. ये stats की class में we have done this. ठीक है जी? अच्छा. Then these xi's have standard deviation sigma x. Then x bar ka standard deviation will be sigma by root n. You have to remember these things. So answer to this question will be D. This is the mean and this is the variance. Okay. Come to the next question. An estimator of a parameter theta is said to be unbiased. So the parameter is said to be unbiased if its mean is equal to the mean of the sampling distribution. So the answer to this question should be if the mean of sampling distribution is theta A. Right? Come to the next this. It is said to be efficient if. So when is it efficient? If it has the least variance. So answer to this is going to be that it should have the least variance. So A. Okay, come to the next question. A flat number in a residential building are allotted using lottery method. A flat number is a 3-digit number consisting of integers 1 to 6 only. A flat owner can opt for 2 numbers randomly. What is the probability that Ramu would get the number 354 or 355? So I need either 354 or I need 355. Of course, I can't have both. So there is nothing to subtract. These are mutually exhaustive, nahi, I should say exclusive events. They don't have anything in common. So 354 ekdam alag number hai and 355 alag hai. So ideally, just think about it, beta. Ideally, I am finding this 354 union 355. So this should be probability of 354 plus 355 minus probability of 354 intersection 355. But this is null. You can't have both, right? This is null. So if this is null, ye to chala gaya. Are you getting it? So either 354 or 355. Now, beta, just think about it that there are numbers from 1 to 6. And you need to form a 3-digit number out of it. So just think about it. Probability of forming a 3-digit number out of a 6 digits will be that out of 6, I need to select any 3 digits. ऐसा ही तो कुछ होगा. Out of 6, I need to select any 3 digits. So this will be 6 factorial upon 3 factorial, 3 factorial. यही होना चाहिए. Out of 6, I need any 3 digits. But, this is with replacement beta. I can have all 3 digits to be the same. So I can include 333, 444, 555. Without replacement, I should have used combination, but I can get any of the 3 digits. So you just think about it. I have to formulate a 3-digit number. So the first digit that I pick up can be any of the 6. Second digit can also be any of the 6. Third digit can also be any of the 6. Are you getting it? So it can be any of the 6 digits. It is with the replacement. That is why I can't use combination here. So now I need, so how many numbers can be formulated beta? 216 numbers. Out of which I need a specific number, which is 354. So the probability will be 1 by 216 plus. I need a specific number, 355. So its probability will be again, there is just one way in which I can get that. So it is going to be 2 by 216. So 1 by 108. So answer to this question would be B. 1 by 108. Right? Okay. Come to the next question, beta. A box has 5 black and 3 green shirts. One shirt is picked randomly and put in another box. So this is a box. It has 5 black and 3 green shirts. I pick up a shirt randomly and I put in another box And the second box has 3 black and 5 green. Now I pick up one shirt from the second box. It says, what is the probability of it being a black shirt? So given it is the second box, I need to find what is the probability of it being a black. Okay. Now just think about it. बहुत ध्यान से समझना. See, I could have transferred a black shirt here. So case 1. When I transferred a black shirt, transferred. If I would have transferred a black shirt, then beta in this box, there would have been 4 black and 5 green. So then if I have to pick a black shirt, there were 4 black out of 9 shirts. Because there would have been one more black shirt transferred from here. Case 2. When I would have transferred a green shirt. So beta, when I transfer a green shirt, there would have been 6 green shirts. Black would have remained at 3. So probability of choosing a black would have been 3 out of 9 shirts. Okay. So how do I find the probability of picking up a black shirt? Black shirt can be picked from this second one. When I transfer a black shirt, transferring a black shirt means transferring any of these 5 shirts. So 5 divided by 8. And if I would have transferred a black shirt, then choosing a black shirt probability would have been 4 by 9. Plus, I could have transferred a green shirt. So its probability would have been 3 out of 8. And if I would have transferred a green shirt, there would have been how many green shirts? 6. But only 3 black shirts. So its probability would have been 3 by 9. So this would have given me 20 plus 9 by 72. So 29 by 72. So the answer to this question would have been B. 29 by 72. Try to understand what we are doing in this. Okay. Okay. Come to the next question. Three companies A, B, C supply 25%, 35% and 40% of notebooks to a school. Past experience shows that 5, 4 and 2% of notebooks produced respectively are defective. A notebook is found to be defective. So given it is defective, what is the probability it was supplied by company A? Just use Bayes rule beta. This is very simple. You're supposed to use Bayes rule. So probability of D given A into probability of A upon probability of D given A, probability of A plus D given B, probability of B plus D given C, probability of C. So what is the probability, given that it is from A, what is the probability that it will be defective? 25%. So 0.25. What is the probability you will get it from A? 5%, right? So 0.05. Upon 0.25 into 0.05. What is it for B? Beta 35% and 4%. So 0.35 into 0.04. And for C, 40% and 2%. So 0.40 into 0.02. So beta, when you will solve this, you will get 25 by 69. I'm not going into the solving, but when you will solve this, you will get 25 by 69. So that's the answer to this question. Okay, beta, come to the next question. The level of significance of a statistical test is, so the level of significance is basically maximum allowable probability of type 1 error. So that should be answer B. So basically, जो भी maximum probability of type 1 error होता है, this is 5%. This is for example, let me just tell you. For example, if alpha is the error I can have, that is 5%. So my level of significance will be 95%. I'm 95% confident that the test is doing well. So rather, you can go ahead and say that the level of significance, right, is because it tells us how significant things are in the test, right? So it goes ahead and tells me the probability, right, that even could have occurred by chance. You usually link it with alpha. So yeah, you can go ahead and say that it's going to be alpha. Take care. That the confidence level is going to be 95%, but level of significance will be 5%. So let's just write down. Confidence level will be 95% and level of significance will be 5%. So answer to this question is B. Okay, come to the next one. Let x and y be two variables. Rxy is the correlation coefficient. Okay. So just think about it better. See, Rxy is the geometric mean of Bxy and Byx. Right? It is the geometric mean between the two. Now it says that Rxy is 0. So I've understood that Bxy into Byx is 0. Right? Bxy into Byx is 0. So the only way this is possible is if one of them is 0. Only then the product can be 0. If one of them is 0, then the product will be 0. So therefore, this is not possible. One greater than 0, other less than 0, then the product cannot be 0. This is not possible. One greater than 0 and other less than 0, product will not be 0. This is fine that Byx and Bxy are not equal, but one of them has to be 0. So the only possibility that hangs here is C. One of them must be 0 for the product to be 0. Right? So I'll go with answer C. Last beta, this is the last question for statistics and econometrics. So it says, let the true regression model be this. Y is equal to beta naught plus beta 1, x1 plus beta 2, x2 plus u. And you have specified y is equal to a plus bx1 plus v. Okay. Where x1 and x2 are correlated, so there is a problem of collinearity. Okay. It says B OLS from your specified model will be. So beta, whenever you have this, you are going ahead and you are skipping a variable, right? So your estimated model is this. Your true model is this. So ideally, your OLS estimators will be biased and inconsistent. So the answer to this question should be C. The OLS estimators will be biased and inconsistent. So that is it from my side. We have gone ahead and covered all stats and econometrics related question. If you see, the paper is an average level paper, definitely much higher than what you will expect in CUET, because it has good level of questions of econometrics and probability, right? Okay, thank you.